Right, this morning, it's the middle of March. I'm going to show you how to divide up a Sarracenia. This plant is potted, in this 1 litre pot. You can see it's pushing both sides of the pot here. It's a Sarracenia Flava CV Maxima, one of Adrian Slack's cultivars. Right, so firstly, we'll pull out a few of these old pictures. Here. Let's tip the plant out of its pot so we can get a good look at it. You should, before you start cutting them up, you should always tease a lot of the compost off to make sure there are roots on each part. You'll sometimes find that all the roots will be on this bit and there's no roots on here yet, so it'll be absolutely pointless to cut the rhizome in half because you'll find only one part will survive. Now, all this off. This is quite old compost, not very nice at all. If I just, it just fell apart, but let's have a look. Right, there we are. Fresh roots on the front part of the rhizome, which is quite normal, and some older roots on the back. Now we'll just cut this off here, so we can see there's roots on each part. Got roots here. But I will still pop this on and use it as a rhizome cutting. Here's one part, pull away some of these old traps. Like this. So there's one piece. Now, here's the other. These again are just going to fall apart, luckily. These are quite old, so they really haven't been potted for a long time. This compost is really glucky. It's just like mud. So I'd say these have been in there at least 5 years, which is quite a long time, but the plant's okay. Now this one is a perfect example. Look, hardly any roots on them at all. And what roots are on them? Nearly all dead. So I'd be tempted just to leave that as it is, like this. It'd be okay, but I wouldn't cut it off because there's just not enough new root growth on that. Here's the last quite large piece. Again, really old compost. I don't know if you can see here, here's the main crown here. There's another crown, piggyback one on the back here. Remove the dead traps from the previous year. You can see it quite clearly, the two distinct pieces here. New root growth coming down here. But again, hardly any other roots on the plant. I will reduce the length of this rhizome. See, it's dead here. I'll keep going until I get white live material. Going quite a lot with this one. Starting, see? And the reason I do this is if you leave this on the plant, you can sometimes get botrytis or grey mould, which can go into here and be taken into the plant. You can lose the plant, so it's always best to remove any dead material from the back end of the rhizomes. There we are. That's lovely. That'll be a nice plant. Again, remove these old pictures and use a 9 centimetre pot. I'm going to be putting on using our Com1, which is a compost we use for all our display plants. We've been using this for a number of years now. Some Com1, back of the compost, back of the pot, you can see again. Incorporate compost in the front, pressing it down firmly. There. It's a really nice plant there. Again, the rhizome is on soil surface. You can see, growing points above soil surface. I've left the flower bud on this one. That's fine, ready to go in a water tray. Now, these two, I want to pot up together. So, say like that, would be quite nice. get a larger clump, you know, something I could actually use at a flower show. We'll put these on into a 1 litre where the pots are formed. There's a bubble in the bottom. We'll remove that because it can go through your plastic membrane if you're using one, so always remember to remove that. 1 litre plastic pot. Put the compost in the back. So I'll con one again, all the way around, pushing in really firmly. That weed off. Right, flower buds. Should you remove or not remove? We're asked this more than any other question, I would say, at this time of year. This is about 6 inches high, and that's the height I would remove the bud. And I just take the bud off the end here. And why do I do that? Why don't I remove down the bottom? Well, the reason for that is in the past, when I've removed them down here, I find where they're cut, you can get botrytis on the cut portion, and it's taken down into the ground, and you can lose the plant quite quickly. By taking them off here, they tend to dry out in the air. And if you do get botrytis, you can just remove it again and they'll dry out a bit later. So I find that's a really good tip. I mean, there are other growers that remove theirs down the bottom and they have good results with that. Personally, I find it safer to remove up here. Why do I remove them? For me, we remove most of the flowers on our large display plants, and the reason for this is when we have nodding flowers on them, the new emerging pitchers can get caught underneath the flower and distort and get bent and twisted. Obviously then we can't use them for display. So the main reason we're removing the flowers is to stop the flowers from distorting the new pitcher growth. You can sometimes get a few more pitchers by removing the flowers if you want bigger, taller pitchers, but I haven't found that's across the board. We've had really huge plants in the greenhouse with flowers on them, and shorter plants with no flowers on them. So I wouldn't say that's a hard and fast rule, but for us, we remove the flowers to stop the pitchers coming up and getting damaged. Obviously, if we want to propagate, so I wanted to cross this really nice Morii here, which I will do, with another one here, which is yet to be potted. I would leave the flowers on, and then as they flower, cross-pollinate. But anything I don't want to pollinate, and the larger plants that we're going to use for display, I usually remove the flowers for that reason. So I hope that's been helpful.